Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kenzo SSW, and welcome to the VHEL week number 7 Fortnite Drops Division 1A. Tonight, I'm your host, Kenzo SSW, going it solo tonight, but that does not matter. We have some Fortnite gameplay for you guys tonight. If you're just joining us off the heels of the ESC qualifiers, it was an exciting event. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But tonight, it's all about for some Fortnite today. It will be just for playing for some points as the playoffs are in fact a week away. So these placements will be very good for a lot of players. As always, it's always chaotic in the opening round. Chaotic Sweat trying to knock down Jimmy. He will, and he will eliminate him. So that will be the first elimination for Chaotic Sweat. I've always seen them in Chaotic Sweat, always looking to jump off some start. He's doing it right well. If there's someone above him, going to immediately box him out as Chaotic Sweat looks to gonna gain some shields for the time being. Going around Sizzle, Spears be up top, also gaining some health. He took a lot of shotgun right to the face. He's done a lot of damage. Chaotic Sweat pops off a couple more shots, does not find the mark. But he does have a lot of, but he's gonna lose all of his shields. Trying to chase right after Sizzle. Sizzle chasing right after him. Back and forth they go, moving with speed, moving with purpose. Chaotic Sweat might have an idea. He's going to back away for the time being. A smart play as he regains a lot of his shields. Going to go for the chest as soon as always, the early rounds of Fortnite are always just the most chaotic. You have a lot of players dropping in and eliminating each other quick. As always, it's always important to just, grab your stuff, get out of there, because you never know who is going to be going around the area. As Chaotic Sweat does drop his partner. His partner is nowhere to be found. So he's going to have to try and get his reboot card depending where he is. But he's doing it with an enemy right in his face. Of course, whereas we know Chaotic Sweat and a lot of the other players have been very heavy favorites in the VHEL. We know some players have been big-time players, and some of them have been trying to earn that big name status. Chaotic Sweat gonna get some more. He's gonna go for another shield. And right now he is up to 100. He has mini pots, so he does have a bit of a chance to get some more shields. Gonna go for the slap jugs for the time being. Chaotic Sweat climbs the ladder for the time being, but he knows there is an enemy in that area. You just see Kuno dropping Maxi for the time being. 34 teams left in the match, 56 players left on the map. Sweat realizes Sizzles is still in the area, so he has to be careful of it. Wants to try and go for that reboot card, but is not so sure about it. Taking a look at the map, you can just see the Storm Circle is very big. Not a lot of players inside the Storm Circle, as you just see. Again, not a lot of players in that. Some players do like to hang around in there because the Storm Circle does not do a lot of damage. But as the Storm Circle does shrink and shrink more, it does a heck of a lot of damage. Heading over to Bobcats and Nakblue, first time we're seeing them. We haven't seen much of them early in the early weeks, but this is the first time we're going to see as Agent appears to be rebooted. So it looks like Chaotic Sweat does have a teammate to back him up. Cash gonna take out Quell and down to 32 teams, Bobcats and Knack. Just surveying the field for the time being. Rocket the Nemesis. Yeah, he's got the Nemesis, the shotgun, the zip line, and the overdrive grenade. As you just see them. So it's always about the play style between different players. Some players like to go for the fast and easy kills, like to be up in your face, like to be aggressive. And other times players really like to stand back and watch the chaos unfold for them. Not gonna try and go for a lot of eliminations. It's always about player choice. So we'll have to see what's gonna happen as Bobcat's gonna use the zip grinder. And it's the Chaos Reloader shotgun. And not a lot of ammo for that. So at the CS, he does get bailed out by the water. That was a very monster. I know he was spamming E to kind of land on that zip line for the time being, as Bobcat's going to going for that. He was going to back off for the time being. Again, looking at the map, you can see players as the Storm Circle severely shrinks down. Double Gaz as Gazette appears to be in a bit of trouble trying to box himself in. He's going to use the porta potty to hide in and teleport out. Smart idea. And he's away, but he did not see Dr. Doofenshmirtz dropping him instantly. Astro will get his second elimination of the match all by himself. Yes, we see them going to use the grenade for the time being to get some mobility and lands on the zip line very perfectly. Look at the speed, the movement coming from Astro. That is always very perfect as you want to see. He is hopefully rebooting himself. Not going to reboot, I hope and go to a reboot van to revive his teammate. He's doing just that. WoW's going to take down Destiny, so we're down to 28 teams left in the match. Again, Astro rocking with about nearly 500 anything, and he's going to box himself in. That is a smart idea. See if it does pay off. Is going to, as he does, reboot his ally. So since we Saint is going to appear to be back in the match, as Astro once again boxes himself in for the time being. Astro gets shot at down to 14 shields. Once more, just trying to box himself in, rotating the 90s with speed and purpose. He's gonna try and just get out of it. Look at the rotations on point for Astro, being shot at by Cash. Cash trying to make a big play happen, but it's not going to happen. Astro down to 24, but he will be eliminated by Cash. So it was all for not Saint. Was really hoping for that reboot, but it looks like it's not going to happen. A lot of firefights out in the storm for the time being, and a knockdown does appear to happen for one of the team players. Take a look over the map. A lot of people. Nowhere near New Sanctuary, so that is a bit of something. A lot of people hanging out in Frigid Fortress as that storm cycle ticks down the 7 final seconds of the match. Thunderyard and Val just in trouble. Rocking with about a good set of materials. But they are very much outnumbered. Val's gonna try and use a grenade, boxes himself in for the time being, but it's not gonna matter. He's still being shot at down to 50 shields. Val just trying to get out of there, rides the wall for the time being. He's just going to try to find a bit of anything, shoots over to one side, lands a couple damage, but it's not going to do much for the time being. Val tries to regroup with his teammate, has a bit of the high ground, as that storm circle does shrink. He's going to use his shield for the time being. Thunderyard going to do the same. Try to get a bit of a high ground, see if he can catch people off guard from the high area. And he does have a bit of an area, but he's not going to do anything. He said they're going to use the Saparoni Pizza to regain some health. He does realize there is commotion down in that area. Shoots the top of the cone, but does not do any damage. He's just gonna back off, realizes as Big Mac. Oh, Big Mac taking a bit of damage, but he does land for the time being. And Thunderyard's going to try and go for the pressure, but he himself is also gonna get fired at. Val down to 80 shields. Val is just going to set up some more walls, some more bricks, not gonna do anything. Passes over his shield to his teammate. A good idea. He's down to 1. 3 slices of the slice left in for their inventory. Thunderyard tries to survey the field, not going to do anything. They're just going to part the time being, or they will. Val shoots off a couple rounds, lands a couple shots to Big Mac. Big Mac down to low shields. Will he survive? Looks like he is going to. As Val regroups with Thunderyard, mines for more materials and possibly for some more shields. This is a bit of a stalemate so far in the matchup, but a lot of damage coming from both players. You see that a lot if you take a look at the map of the Storm Circle approaching its 4th ring as we head over to Tickle Me and Magic, as Tickle down for the time being, and he's going to get knocked down, gonna get finished off, and yes he will. It's Zari with the elimination. And it looks like it's all up to Magic for the time being. He's getting shot and trying to survive the onslaught. See what he can do. Maybe survey, maybe to peek. No. Instead, he's going to try and box in. Uses the cone for leverage. Magic. See what he can do. As he does, he's rocking the Thunderburst SMG and the dual wheelies. Those are the highly top tier weapons you see a lot. Some people like to use it. It's a higher tier weapon. Brought back all the way, I want to say, back in Chapter 5, actually, I think. So Chapter 5, Season 1 was when we first saw the Thunderbolts. So that was a high-tier player that we just saw. 0 Point is back in the match. He was rebooted, so I'll have to see if that's going to matter, as it looks like Magic not going to do anything for the time being, but just get some more materials. If we take a look at the map, as the 4th Storm Circle has shown, the time's taken away before it starts to shrink. Head over to AQ and Big Mac Muncher. They were very much in trouble in that last firefight, but they just got out in the time being, as AQ looks to grind for more materials, always what you want to see. What they could do, they have a bit full shields and full health. Not a lot of materials for them, so they might go for materials in these late stages. As Big Mac marks a destination, down to 24 teams left in the match, 43 players left in the match. They're going to park their time being they're going to park the bus in the bushes. Survey the field, looking at a bit of an area at a fortress. Maybe they want to go for that or not. They're going to park it for the time being. As the Storm Circle now begins to shrink in the match, they're just almost at the edge of it. Not quite, but they do have a chance to just park it. You just see, again, no eliminations between the two of them, but they have against a bit of firefights, but they're not going to be more aggressive. Just trying to survey their field and figure out what can they do for the time being. Walking back and forth, seeing what they could do as a minute goes by before the Storm Circle reveals another ring. And again, you take a look at AQ's you take a look at their inventory so far. They have a med kit, they have mini pots, so they do have a chance to just tank a bit of damage. Not a lot of damage they can take, but they do have enough to just survive a couple more gunfights. Taking a look at the map, 30 seconds left before the next Storm Circle approaches. As we see over Forstex and Rippa, again, no elimination between the two of them, but they are rotating out as that Storm Circle does appear to be shrinking. Forstex with a mushroom. He's going to try and just push and just hang around Storm Circle for the time being. A very, I will not say smart idea, but just what you can do for the time being. Forstex rotates out again, just trying to survive as much as he can. He's in the Storm Circle for the time being, and now he's going to mine for some materials. About 389 wood for the moment. Forstex and now Ripper are going to just hide in the bush. If you see Haydenator rotating out, Forstex saw a bit of movement, but he's not going to engage. Or will he? He's pushing up for the moment. Let's see. Does it? Will he go for the kill? As he does being a bit aggressive, is going to go for a chest, and now does have a med kit, so he can take a damage. He has a miss, so he's really playing a lot of the survival rate. And as I said before, it's usually about the play style. Some players want to play a bit of aggressively, just go for eliminations left and right, and others really want to just play back and not go for aggressive and go for aggressive play. That has worked out before, but during those final moments, you really do have to play a bit of aggressive if you want to get the win. As always, this is for placement, and it is the final week before the playoffs start. So a lot of these players are going to pretty much play with a lot of intensity depending on the teammate. As Foxy J and Tittles, 4 eliminations between in total, as Foxy is knocked down for the time being. He is eliminated. So it's all up to Tittles right now to try and clutch it up for his teammate. Down to 22 teams left in the match, as not a lot of eliminations. We'll say you start to see in this area is nearly down to around maybe 20 to between 19 to 20 teams left in the match. So you really start to see a lot of these players really engage up, as looks to be Tittles engaged with one more. He's being shot at. Tittles realizes he's in very much trouble, tries to survive it. He's down to low shield, down to low health. It's not going to do it much. He's got to get it out of there, but it's not going to happen. Tittles is eliminated in drop number 1. Head over to Kaz. You just see, look at his inventory right now. Legendary AR, legendary shotgun, 2, about 5 slices in total up the Slapperoni Pizza. Him and Lord Wraith, also members of the Big Name Players Club. They have really done themselves so far so well in this matchup, and they'll wait for a drop heading their way. You can just see they're boxing themselves in, allowing that drop to maybe drop in, or they're going to go for it. Oh, they're not actually. They're not going to do that. 5 eliminations in total between the two players. 19 teams left in the match. Or are they going to go for the drop? Yes, they are actually waiting for the drop. That was... it looks like they were waiting for it. And now the elimination... not the elimination. The drop has landed in their zone. Cash gonna try and play the low ground. Has a bit of firefights. And this is where the pace starts to pick up for these players. Cash just trying to maintain his inventory. Has the fist for the moment. Now it's going to use the pizza to gain a bit of a movement advantage. Cash once more, him and his teammate just trying to agree for the time being. Lord Race, taking a look at him. Got 2 eliminations in total between them. And taking a look at the map, so Storm Circle is starting to shrink. So now you're starting to see a lot of these players going to play a bit more strategic in this final storm seconds. 15 seconds left before this next storm circle approaches. As AQ does not have elimination, it's going to use it, and he's in the thick of the storm, the eye of the storm. As we have to say, as Quizzy's in trouble, and he is knocked down, just trying to evade the firefight, trying to call upon his teammate. His teammate almost nowhere in sight. He is knocked down. Let's see if his teammate does pick up for the time being. Cash knocks down Zari. 18 teams left in the match, 32 players left in the map. AQ, he needs his teammate. He is all by himself. Not sure where Big Mac is. So it seems to be Big Mac seems to be engaged with a firefight of his own. Just trying to rev up with his teammate again. AQ is in trouble, as you could just see. More players shooting at the wall. 0 Point also down to low health. Looking at them, EJ and 0 Point. Another players who have been very much a high-key players in this series. As AQ down to 24 health, he is not going to survive unless Big Mac does come in the clutch. Just trying to come in the clutch. Oh, Big Mac in trouble, and that's going to do it for them. Down to 17 teams left. Head over to Reaper and Lucky, who have also played very good in the following weeks as well. They haven't been close enough to win it all, but they have done well in placement. Reaper and Reaper and Lucky just trying to survive. You has a bit of a shield, as Beaky is down for the time being. Not gonna go for the kill, just trying to survive. As it's 17 seconds before the next storm circle approaches. Reaper trying to gain a bit of height, but he's going to get shot at. Boxes himself in, down to 86 health. Gonna use the pizza to regain all of those lost health. And he is, yes, he's going to just be full shield. Yes, he will. Reaper right now has 2 eliminations. Lucky has 0, so it's 2 in total for the teammates. As we head over to Lucky now, just a bit of the low ground, uses the grenade to pop himself in and regroup with his teammate. Yes, he will. You can just see now over to the Bean and Shammy. The Bean who's played very well, but right now he's being shot at by Pumps. Pumps tries to go for the kill, but the Bean and Shammy just get out in the nick of time. Now use the cone for leverage. They're in their own little area. Bean for the time being shot at. Oh, there's one trying to go for the 2, but it's not going to matter. Being shot at. Bean down to 44 shields. Eagle Dill, part of that firefight as well, as Bean tries to get out of there. They're in the storm circle, uses the grenade to get out of there, and they will in the nick of time. Bean just trying to regate. And look at the speed, look at the movement, also paying off as well. Now the Bean using the Chug-Chug to regain some of his shields. Gonna pass it over to his teammate. Oh, actually, no, he's not gonna do that. Head over to Daniel Dude and Dave Plays. They themselves have been a bit of firefight. Now looking to regain some materials. Has 500 wood. Looking to go 500 on everything. Trying to just survive, as that storm circle is very small. So you're starting to see players going to drop like flies. Cash knocks down Jax. Just trying to do a bit of time. Cash does get anything. Lord Worth with the kill. Down to 11 teams left in the match as Quan Nice knocks down Pumps. This is where they start to pick up Daniel Dude. Just trying to survive. They're playing a bit of a passive-aggressive. Oh, the Reaper knocked down. Trying to go for an elimination. Yes, they will. Daniel Dude with his 2nd elimination of the match. Daniel Dude trying to go once more. He will get another one. Shammy also by himself. Bean down to the lowest bit of health. They're pushing for the time being. Daniel Dude also in trouble. Down to 46 health. Daniel Dude just also, he is in a lot of trouble. Him and his partner Dave Play just trying to survive. Daniel Dude will survive that one. A kill from him takes out Maxi. Down to the final 9 teams of the match. Daniel Dude just trying to survive. They're in the storm circle. This is where a lot of the action does start to pick up. Daniel Dude just soon his health starts to trick, but they do get out of the storm in the nick of time. 3 eliminations for him in total. They're just trading the Chug-Chug back and forth, using the last bit of their resources at their disposal. 7 teams left in the match. Cash in trouble. Oh, Daniel's gonna eliminate Ollie himself. Down to 6 teams left. A great showing from Daniel Dude with 4 eliminations. 11 eliminations in total between Cash and Lord Race. Cash against him in a firefight. He's going to take down. Make it 12 on the night for that team in total. Down to the final 5 teams in the match. Who wants it all? We will have to see, as Cash all out of resources for health. Down, he's at 25 shields. Wraith just growing by the skin of his teeth. Cass uses the fist to gain a bit of a height advantage. Goes over to Quantinize and his teammate, evading. Back and forth they go. Cash once more, just trying to survive. There is a bit of the team using the high ground. Let's see what Cash has in total. Just trying to survive, maybe go for a pickaxe some more. Tries to fire off a couple shots, can't find anything. Cash once more gains a bit of height advantage. Cash trying to find some opponents to take out. Again, they have 12 eliminations in total. Fire for a couple shots, fire to the structure, not going to do any damage. As Daniel Duke just survives down to the final 4 teams. Who wants it all, ladies and gentlemen? You will have to find out. Cash once more fires up a couple shots. Val's just trying to survive. Quantinize does take out Lord Ray. Excuse me, he does not take him out. He just knocks him down. Up to Cash. Cash trying to head over to his teammate, but he is being surrounded. He's going to try and just go for elimination. Ray's hanging on by a thread. He seems to be down and out. He does mark the enemy, so we have to see if they can. Cash fires up a couple more. Tries to find structure, but it's not going to do anything. Race is all by himself. Now, excuse me, no, it's Cash all by himself. Cash once more gains a bit of the high ground. Has to fire a couple now. Down goes Val, and now it's down to the final 3 teams. Down to Dayplace and Daniel Do is all up to Cash. Modi also by himself. He is knocked down for the time being. See what happens as Dave boxes himself in. Dave just trying to survive. They have all the resources in their favor, just mining for materials at this point. Valve does take out Modi, so now it's down to the final 3 teams. 4 players left in the match. Dave's just trying to survive. He's going to use the last bit of Chug Jug. It's down to 40, so it's going to be very close. Dave, again, picks access some more. They have to be very careful. They're being shot at by Cash. Cash trying to do the 1v2 by himself. Dave, again, just trying to pick at it once more. They're just trying to survive. They're trying to go as long as they can. Don't know how it's going to pay off. Quantinize does take out Cash, so now it's all up to them. Dave just trying to do the can. The storm circle is shrinking. It is at its final moment, and now Daniel and Dave do, but they're going to survive. What a play. Quantinize gets taken out by the storm. An impressive play from Daniel Dude, and Dave plays just riding out the storm. A very interesting play style. You saw that you never see players almost do that, but they managed to pull it off. An impressive showing from the champs of Game 1. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with drop number 2. You are watching Fortnite on Twitch. This is the VHEL. We'll be right back right after this. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to drop number two. This is the VHEL Fortnite Division 1A. I'm your host, Kenzo SSW, and welcome back to drop number two. Hope you guys enjoyed the bag. We're back with some more Fortnite. As just to recap what happened in game one, Daniel Dude and Dave plays an impressive strategy just to wait out the storm in game number one. Hopefully they can run it back. That was impressive play happening in drop one, but we're in drop number two as we're taking a look at Maxi and AFF. So these two who have Maxi was in the final 10 teams in the match, but unfortunately was eliminated. So they're hoping to look to make the run back. As we just see them again gather material so far, just surviving as much as they can. They're just kind of going to simply farm for materials. As now with drop number two underway, these players know exactly what's at stake. Positions and placement for points is all very much on the line. So a lot of these players are gonna realize now it's time to pick up a bit of the pace and get back into the swing of things. As Maxi going to gain some gold and some ammo, always very important as you want to do. As again, very early moments of the Fortnite matchup, again players start to drop like flash early on, but as the pace quickens it starts to slow down and it gets back up again. That's always the trend as always goes in these Fortnite matches. We see Maxi now just farming for materials at this point. Obviously, it's always a smart idea for those late ending game stuff, because you really have to, at this point, you start moving around so quickly that you want to gain a bit of a height advantage and gain a bit of more of the superior firepower. As we head over to City Boy and Rax, haven't seen much of them in game one, but we start to see as, oh, looks like Ice King. Oh, Ice King gets a bit of eliminations. That's very unfortunate. So that is not what they wanted. As down to 29 teams left in the match, 54 players left in the game, as City Boy and Rax just survey their options. They do realize they are in a highly contested area in Wonky Land, so honestly, they don't want to engage a bit of they don't want to engage. They just want to survey their fields. They do realize that there is a person in there. Will they engage? We'll have to see. They're picking at the wall, but they're just going to be met with some firepower. Sable drops to around 85 health, and he's quickly boxing himself in, but he's not going to do anything as Pumps immediately drops him, and Pumps are going to go for another elimination. Rax just trying to survive. He's down, but it's not going to matter. Pumps goes for the two-piece, and he will get an elimination. Down to 28 teams left in the match. As we see Beast and Pumps. Beast was eliminated in the match, so it was down to Pumps to try to carry the load, but unfortunately was eliminated. So we'll have to see how they do in game number two, as they're now slowly trying to go for materials. They do have a bit of health, each of them rocking about 98 to 97 shields. Plenty enough to survive a couple firefights, but we'll have to see if that changes on later on in the matchup. As Beast rocking the Iron Pump shotgun, another weapon that is highly tiered amongst the Fortnite community. I also love to see that as Beast survey his field, maybe going for a bit of materials. Yes, he will. He heads over to the chest area, see what he gets against some gold. And what you can do, he's going to try and just farm those slurp juices to see what he can. He will get plenty of it. As we see TOWG knocks down XPO Weston. The players that we also see, we're seeing a lot of no-name, a lot of people who have been very much have top-tier players get dropped like flies easily. That's always, as he's going to use the Thunderbolts and he's going to drop that care package down. Always a very good idea. As Beast gets Slapperoni Pizza and a bit of an AR, but he's not going to go for any. That's a bit of a weird idea, or maybe he will actually. We'll have to see what that will entail. 2 eliminations in total between the two players. As Beast going to farm for some more materials, gains about a couple wood there. As they're just parking their butts for the time being and not engaging a lot of firefights in Wonky Land. They're just going for materials, which is always a nice sight you want to see. Now Beast is going to ride the Ferris wheel and see if he can gain a bit of higher altitude, or will he actually? Take a look what he's doing. He's going to gain a bit of higher ground. Always a smart idea. as Beast gonna use some of his materials to gain a bit of a height advantage. Taking a look at the map, the storm circle very big, but as we see a couple players engaging in some firefights. And speaking of firefights, it's Miko down to around 8 health, yes, but he's going to get knocked down. Not what he had in mind, not what he wanted. As Thunderyard and Valve was so close in game one, but unfortunately got eliminated. Let's see if he wants to run back as Valve goes for elimination. Miko just trying to survive, but it's not going to matter. Valve takes him out. And that was a fortunate game number 2 loss for Miko. Had to get lucky as him and his teammate. We'll have to see what they can do. Over to Valve and Thunderyard. Again, 2 dynamic players that people are going to have to watch out for as just using the last bit. Look at the shield and the health that they have. This is actually what they want. Again, they have a bit of slurp cans and some shield. Now just going to farm for materials. Valve has about 500 bakes. He's good on that. Very low on wood, but I don't think that's going to stop him for the time being. As TikTok Grunt is rebooted in the match, so he was eliminated, but now he's back in the match. We have to see Beakster also rebooted. Beakster very has been eliminated early on in the matchup. He hasn't done very much in game 1, but we'll have to see if that changes in game number 2 as Valve now just farms for materials, rotating out almost near the storm circle. So we have to see what they can do. Valve's going to mark a designation, farms for some more materials as Cash. Again, just unfortunate in game 1. He was so close, but it was just a bit of a miscommunication on his part as Astro takes down Double Gazette. So 25 teams left in the match, 45 players left in the map as Valve again, roasting with his teammate. Now they're trying to see what they could do. Maybe head over to Wonky Land before that storm circle. But Valve is going to get a drop, and he immediately boxes himself in. Firefight happening a lot as Valve now realizes he's a bit of trouble. He's going to use the remaining of his shield portion. But he does have slur cans to help him out. As he regains all the way back to 100 shield, rocking 78 health, uses the cone to peek. Or he's going to peek in some more. He does it the Chaos Reload Shotgun, so we'll see what he can do. He realizes there was a bit of trouble, so he's going to box himself in. Did not want to get eliminated. A smart idea. Now he's going to use the drones. He was going to use the grenade to gain a bit more height advantage. Peeking out towards the storm. Once again, he's being shot at, but the quick maneuvers coming from him paying out very much in their favor. Once again, he's being shot at, but now he's in the storm. Looks like he may be being a bit chased. No, that is not. That is his teammate trying to go over. Now they're going to regain for some more ammo and some more health. They do have the gold to back it up. Head over to Moneymaker and Junior again. 2 people that we haven't seen a lot in the matchup, but we're taking a look at them now. Or we will as... There you go. As we see Moneymaker and Junior just hanging out in towards the house around that area. Again, a bit in the storm circle near the edge of the map. That's the 4th storm. The 3rd storm circle starts to shrink in the matchup. As I said before, why these players like to hang out in the storm because it does not do a lot of damage, but as the match progresses, it starts to trickle away at their health, as you saw in game 1 between Daniel Dudes and Dave Plays, who just rode it out and just try to survive as much as they can. That seemed to be the strategy in the game 1. Hopefully it will pay off in game number 2, as we see again between Moneymaker and Team. They're just going to chill out for the time being and not do a lot. Smart strategy. We'll see if that pays off. Head over to Ollie himself and Eagle Dew, who has also played a good amount of plays in last week's Fortnite drop. So he played very much in that. We'll see if we can back it up. As it's 4 eliminations in total between the 2 players. They're just hanging out for the time being. So we'll have to see what awaits them in this matchup. As they're just hanging around for the time being. Gonna use the cone to maybe peek around. But so far, he has nothing. Down to 22 teams left in the match. As we see Tickle, who played very good, but also eliminated. As we see Ollie now gonna farm for some more material. Let's see what he can do. 4 of it. Again, gonna farm a lot of stone. Almost low on metals. You can see he's very low on metals. We'll have to see will he gain some more. As they're now just going to group and park the bus for the time being. Cash just so far doing himself a better player, trying to redeem himself as he was very limited in game one, and then you can see all himself start to farm for materials down up to 222 metals left in the match. 21 teams left in the match as the Bean does take out Knack for the time being. As Ollie starts again, picking in some more. They're just trying to farm for materials at this point. Always a good idea. As you can see, they're slowly regaining it. Another storm circle starts to shrink in the match. Fires off at Dave Plays was not going to do anything. Trying to take out the champs of Game 1. They're looking to run it back. Again, down to 20 teams as Junior is eliminated. So this is a bit of interesting. Bit of more of a fast-paced action than we saw in game number 1. As you saw in game number 1, it was a very slow pace. You didn't see a lot of eliminations until those final seconds, but now in game 2, the pace has quickened in the match, down to 19 teams left in the match. You take a look at the map as the storm circle starts to shrink again. And on the Reaper and Lucky Reaper with one elimination between the two teams. As Lucky realizes he has a bit of an area, starts to peek outside the cone. Will he go for a bit of aggressiveness? No, he's just surveying the field, see what Ollie's doing. As they're hanging around Dark Demand, also, they do have a bit of company going in their area, so they have to be very careful not to get themselves caught in crossfire in the matchup. As we see the fifth storm circle slowly starts to approach, almost 10 seconds left. What would happen? We have to see. As you could just see Lucky in him. He's surveying his field, not want to play a bit of aggressiveness. And it has worked out for him. It has worked out. But will it continue? We will have to find out. As the next storm circle has approaches, as it starts to shrink in about 35 seconds. So what the players will do in those time while being. You can see, take a look at Lucky's, a bit of his inventory so far. He's rocking a bit of good. He's rocking a bit of good. Has a pepperoni pizza, has mini shields. So he is good for the time being. You just see players start to creep around Dark Dominion. As again, the storm circle it's always random, right? It's always random. You never know where it's gonna go. Sometimes it may look like that, but then it just reappears, 20 feet away from you, and you have to rush over there. As we take a look at Modi and Quaternice. Quaternice, who was so close to winning game number 1, but the smart play from Daniel Dude and Dave Plays really paid off. As now they're chasing after a player. Will Modi go for it? He will not. As they're hanging around Squiggly Shores for the time being, Modi does have a bit of the energy to go around the area as they're rotating and push their way towards the storm circle. And over towards the map once more. You could just see it's starting to shrink once more. And this is where you start to see the pace quickening up for these players. So they have to be very careful not to get themselves eliminated in the matchup. You can see Haydenator just hanging around the storm circle for the time being. Meanwhile, Rippa and his teammate, they're very far away in the storm. But they do have a bit of momentum. We have to take a look at them for the time being. As we see AF and his teammate just surviving, and now Forstex and Ripple start to move towards the storm circle. Will it pay off? They have to rush back over there if they don't want to catch themselves eliminated in the matchup. So we just see them just surveying the field. They head over to that as we see Rave and Cash, six eliminations in total, as there's 18 teams left in the match. Warface wants to run it back, not to try to do any more. He wants to do more damage than what he already does, but they're heading inside the tunnel, so they're just going to see what they could do for the time being. Wraith is going to survey his field, rocking the Thunderburst and the shotgun. Not a lot they could do, but they are working with what they have. Again, they have a lot of health. They're rocking the Chug Jug. He's going to throw it out toward his teammate as he finds 4 materials and gets around 148 stone. More shots are fired, but not enough to do any damage. Lord Ray sees what he can do. Now the storm circle starts to appear. They start to climb the mountain. It's going to rotate out towards the storm. Not towards them, moving away for it. Shots fired again. Lord Ray's just trying to make a play, but he's not going to land his shots. And they're just going to rotate again. As Raze maybe realizes something. Oh, he's getting the mist. He's going to use that for the time being, gain a bit of the height advantage. And that does pay out for him well to head over towards Frigid Fortress, as the next storm circle starts to shrink around. They're hanging around just outside the storm, and they're moving so quickly with precise precision and motion. As they do realize there is a bit of commotion going on in that area, not enough to push the area, but they do want to be very careful of their surroundings. Lord Wraith, again, he's not going to climb the mountain. As we take a look at the map, you can just see how much that storm has shrunk in the last couple of seconds. Foxy JJ seems to be eliminated, so that does that does shrink the pace of the match type being. As Lord Wraith, oh, look at that. Seems to be a firefight going on between these two teams. What's going to happen? They're in the storm. As we head over to Astro and Saint K. Saint K, who has also he was eliminated early on in the match. Tried to get the reboot. Sorry, his teammate tried to reboot him, but it did not pay off in his favor. Saint K now is going to peak for the time being, down to 16 teams left in the match. As Astro Survey peaks out for the time being, a bit of the height advantage in their favor. Have to also be very careful not to have anything go their way. Will Astro do it? No, he's going to peak for the time being, but he's going to back off, just using the staircase in his favor. Astro once more realizes Storm Circle starts to shrink now. The 7th Storm Circle is shrunk. Astro once more, he realizes he's going to pickaxe for the time being. Has a legendary shotgun. So 39 is legendary. He has a mythic version of it. Will it pay off? We will have to find out. It's going to Astro. Going to use the grenade to gain a bit of height. He's going to chase out the Riker Viper. Riker Viper does get into a bit of damage, but Viper just repays him in the favor. Down to 46 shields left in the match. Down to 46 shields left for Astro. Does have a bit of shield. Will he use the Chug Jug to gain all of it back? He's not going to do it. As Corner Light takes out E the Beam. Astro rotates out, tries to do something for the time being. He's going to box himself in, and his teammate shoots something in the area, but it's not going to do any damage. They're rocking just low on wood right now. Not sure what they could do, but Astro is finally going to use the Chug Jug to regain his shield. But they are just so in trouble. They're in the thick of the the eye of the storm. As Ollie does knock down Beast, they're lucky and does take down a couple players. And the next Storm Circle appears in the map. As we see AFF and Maxi also just surviving. It's the longest they have survived, so you know they talked out in game 1 and just trying to they're trying to take out Cash. Cash also in trouble. The 2v1 in his favor. He does take a bit of damage, but you can see Coochie back off for the time being. And Maxi just trying to, as the next Storm Circle starts to shrink, and now they're going to rotate out as AFF looks to push more, going to gain a bit of those mushrooms. You can see Dave plays, knocks down them, so let's see what they can do. AF shoots some more, no damage done in this area. As AF just a bit of the play, shoots a couple more areas in his area. AF regroups with his teammate. Oh, he walks right into that one. He walked into that one, did not see it. Down to the final 15 teams of the match. As AFF tries to rotate, he's got a bit of fist, and he just uses it to get out of there. You can see he's doing so well. Between him and his teammate, he's down to 30 health in the match. But he's going to use his mini pots. Oh, he's got to get out of there. He's rocking on 10 health. Very much. He regroups with his teammate. Oh, but he does have a bit of a med kit, so maybe he is safe for the time being as Day plays and Daniel do the chance of game 1, looking to go back to back. Day plays with 2 eliminations, so it's 2 eliminations in total between the 2 teammates. Warner Knight does knock down Beast as Daniel Dude pops into the area. He's trying to take out Beast, but he's going to box himself in. Use the Slapperoni Pizza. That's a smart idea. Will their strategy of just taking it out and just surviving as long as they can pay off in game 2? We'll have to see. And just down to 12 teams left in the match. Down to 18 players left in the map. As Daniel Dude rotates out. Gonna go for the low area. He's gonna try and just make himself a bit well known in the area. Daniel Dude once again using the pizza to his advantage. They're gonna use the miss. You could just see this. Their idea is to wait it out and see what they can. Just to wait it out and see what they can do. As Daniel do, oh, they're in the storm. They have to be very careful trying to tank it out. They have to get it. Oh, Daniel Dude. Oh, this is very, very weary. Down to the 10 teams in the semifinal. 10 teams, 9 teams left in the match. Lord Race. Again, 9 eliminations in total between the 2 of them. As Race boxes himself in. Oh, it's all up to him. He knocks down Valve. Now he's got 7, rocking 10 eliminations in the match. Tries to go after Wow. Again, great play. Just going to box himself in. Raise. Look at the movement. Look at the speed. The rotations so on point. Eagle Do with elimination is up to 8 teams left Who wants it all as Raze pickaxes some more, just trying to survive. Fires a couple more, takes out Thunderyard. Oh, whoa, no, Thunderyard's going to survive. Raze in trouble, boxes himself in. And we just see the final storm circle starts to shrink. Quantum Ice takes out St. K. 6 teams left in the match. Lord Raze all by himself, just trying to survive. Final 4 teams, final 3 teams. Oh, what a play from Lord Raze. Just survives. Just survive. He has what? Look at the eliminations. This is so important for him, just trying to survive. Down to the final 3 teams. 30-yard in trouble. Lord Raze goes down, and just like that, Ollie and Eagle Do take game 2. An impressive play from Ollie and Eagle 2, who have been very much a high T players in the VHEL. They take drop number 2, an impressive showing from them. Oh, I gotta say, folks, that was an impressive game number 2 between everybody. Congratulations to our champs of game number 2. As always, round of applause for our competitors in this Monday night stream. As always, folks, thank you for watching. I've been your host, Kenzu SSW. Thank you for watching. Shout out to our amazing producer, Edge, for providing this great gameplay for you guys. As always, I'm your host, Kenzu SSW, and we'll see you all next week. Do not go anywhere. We will see you all next week. I'm your host, Kenzu SSW, and we'll see you all in the future with some more gameplay. Good night, everybody.